The first time I realized I had this ability, I was very, very young. There was something different about the way I saw things, the way I heard things, in comparison to my friends or my family. So actually, I can honestly say that I never remember ever being without them. It's been a part of my life since I can remember remembering. What really was the big decision factor for me in going public was when I lost my brother. I lost my brother in 1991. He died from AIDS, and it was very horrible for my family. And for that experience to happen to me was the first time that I realized the great importance of people understanding that their dead family and friends were never going to be gone, and they were right here available for them. And it was so important for me to know that I could still hear my brother. And it was at that moment that I realized that the world really needed to know these things. And I wanted to be a part of it. The way I hear dead people is usually from a thought that runs parallel to my own. It's not a voice, and sometimes I get images. It's very much the same as if you were dreaming and you had dream sequences, and I can tell symbols. And through a lifetime of interpretation and knowing what they mean, I can put a story together through these things. I hear a thought that's very different and very loud and very separate from my own. And it comes very natural to me, so it's fun and exciting each time, and I'm never afraid of it. But that's really what it is. It's a very loud thought. So if someone were to say to me, you know, do you hear voices? I'd have to say no. It's different. It's a thought. The spirits have the same personalities that they had when they were here, but keep in mind, imagine if you were free from pain, suffering, mortgage payments, aggravation from your in-laws. Those are the things that don't bother you anymore on the other side. So obviously you're going to be a lot happier, and you're going to also have a lot more understanding of your existence and your purpose and the things that you have given to this side of the veil, and now that you're home on the other side of the veil. Put those things together, you're obviously going to be in a better state of existence or a better state of spirit. So yeah, you have the same personality, I think, with those advantages of peace added to it. When we die, the transition is quite beautiful. There's nothing ugly about it. It's very peaceful. From what I understand, we are taken into a very beautiful, bright white light that is all-knowing and all-loving. It's total perfection. But I always refer to it as a homecoming, a celebration, because there is a homecoming and a celebration upon returning. And there are many, many people there who are there to greet us. You have to understand that when we die, there's not 18 desks on the other side. There's not going to be a desk where the Jews go, a desk where the Muslims are, and when you get there and say, what are you, you're a Buddhist? Oh, where's the Buddhists? Oh, they're back here. I mean, it doesn't work that way. And you have to realize that I respect all these religions, but God, I believe, belongs to all of us. We all are belonging to the same universe, and we're all the same flesh. And the sooner we start to appreciate one another and love each other, I think the better this world's going to be. You know, there's a lot of people might disagree with me that if somebody committed suicide, what happens to that person when they get home? But it's from my understanding, and because I've worked with so many people and done so many readings, and I've met with people who have had family members die from suicide, the first thing I understand from a person who comes through to me that has committed suicide is that they are not being punished. So contrary to things that might be beliefs on this side, of course we're not supposed to take our own life. And I understand people think that's a sin. And I would say it is a sin, but it's a shame. And the sad part is they cut themselves short of something God created for them that was supposed to be a beautiful lesson here on this side. But keep in mind that God is very loving and very forgiving. So the souls that I've heard that have committed suicide are always telling me that they have forgiven themselves with the encouragement of God to forgive themselves. And now what they're trying to do is get those on this side to forgive them. And it's more of a self-judgment than a God judgment. It appears to me, from what I understand, that the soul who took their own life is judging themselves of the wish I could, I would, I should haves. A person who's committed suicide is always so desperate to try to communicate that to understand that they are at peace. Because that, I think, is the one thing that people are left here on this side with, thinking that someone committed suicide, that they're still troubled, they're still tortured. And the one thing they want them to know is, I am no longer tortured. I am no longer, not at peace. I am at great peace. Please communicate that for me. How I address people who refer to what I do as witchcraft or evil is very, very, quite frankly, it frightens me. I get very afraid of people who are religious fanatics, because we've all seen what a religious fanatic can do. So I always just try to remind people that I have a right, just like anyone else who has a right, to believe what I wish to believe and to say what I wish to say. And those people who disagree with me, I say they have the right to disagree with me, and they have a right to just walk away from me. But please, I'm not going to judge you for doing that. Please don't judge me for doing what I do. Please let me be at peace, and I'd like you too to be at peace, even if you disagree with me.